continues, because this man up here is rarely intimidated. You saw him giggly and smiley after the surprise upset in that last match to get here to the finals. In the top left-hand side of the map, representing Litecoin G, it's MeomaikA.
And in the bottom right, the favored player here, the reigning champion, represented by Legacy A and Z, this is Probe. Yeah, that's right, international viewers. We say Z instead of Z. We're crazy.
I do love a bit of
ZVP.
Bit of ZVP, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
Z versus Z.
ZVZ.
Sounds cooler, you know? Sounds more internet. I like it. Well, it is going to be the block on the expansion. I think this is such a good way to play against Meo. Meo's opening always looks a bit awkward, but if you make him take that base, the power of the two adepts is there. So let me kind of walk everyone through what you're looking at. So Probe's strategy is to basically defend and just not die and then win in the late game because he doesn't think Meo can match him there. How is he going to check, though, that he isn't getting surprise all-in? First of all, this Probe comes over, checks for the 12 pool, and then blocks the expansion, forces Meo into an awkward expansion pattern. Behind that, Probe will either scout with one adept, or often he'll send two adepts across the map pretty quickly and try and just check to make sure, are you building drones, or are you rushing zerglings or roaches or something like that? And then it's going to be an oracle straight across the map to confirm. And beyond that point, he's got Void Rays out and he's completely safe anyway. And he's going to go into Void Rays, Disruptors, and eventually Carriers and so on. So that's the kind of generic game plan that we can almost overlay our expectations onto for Probe, because it's what he did in their last series. He had a lot of success with it on most of these maps. You can see he's making a small adaptation here. He's adding the Zealot because he's seen these 4 Zerglings on the way.
Yep. It's something that Probe got punished for in the first game of their series for MeomaikA was actually adjusting his build a little bit too much, where he didn't actually have the timing of his pylon lined up. This time it seems like he's super safe and he's really not cutting too many corners at all.
Stargate in the wall. Doesn't care about showing that to MeomaikA because, and I think this is a good way to do it. He was building a second gate in the wall in his previous series and delaying his Stargate. And I was kind of like, dude, there's no point hiding anything from Meo because he doesn't react to it. T-Bull made a big strategic error in constantly trying to be sneaky with his openings against Meo and doing less efficient openings, you know, saying, well, this way he doesn't know what I'm doing. Meo almost always does the exact same opening in this matchup. Very rarely does he deviate. It's almost always going to be a lair about 10, maybe 15 seconds from now, and then a second gas soon after it. This is just his opening for ZVP. He does it incredibly predictably, no matter what you show him.
And Probe is being as conservative, as normal, as defensive as possible. Like just sending one adept across the map, not even the 2 adept. I mean, he did make the Zealot, so it makes sense there. So the 1 adept shading into the main. Looks like he's going to get a Probe or drone or 2 here. Actually gets 2 already.
Oh, wow, that's huge.
Wow.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah, for
lots
one
of
adept,
damage going in here. I mean, if he gets out, that would be huge. But a Spore Trick and 3 drones, a bunch of mining time. Now, Meo's lair has not started. This is bizarre. I've been actually asking for Meo to actually start droning a bit harder and stop teching so hard necessarily, unless you've got a good reason for it, and also delay your spores. And you know what? He's answered all of my wishes so far in this game. There's no spore in the main still, though. That is a little dangerous, but actually it's Void Ray first, not an Oracle, so he's got a little bit of time to get up that defense in the main base.
Yeah, maybe he didn't expect to lose that Overlord there. Getting a little bit blocked as he starts to replenish with those 2 Overlords. The Overlord, the Void Ray first here from Probe, I think is just a kind of a get out of jail free card. It's more expensive than the Oracle, obviously, but he relied on the Adept for vision, not needing the Oracle for that. The Adept already did drone damage, so that's kind of what the Oracle is for, is scouting and also drone harassment. The Adept did that for Probe. So the Void Ray is actually quite nice to just go straight across the map, not worrying about leaving that at home to deal with some imaginary Zerg attack. He gets an Overlord, and now he's pressuring the natural. MeomaikA distracted here as Probe's Oracle goes into the 3rd. Does take a fair bit of damage from that Spore Crawler there, so not the, you know, not the most cleanest control there on that Oracle, but just drops the Revelation and pieces out, confirming the lair.
A bit of a delayed 3rd for Probe this game around. Let's see if he goes for the Forge and just keeps up Void Ray 2-star, or does he try to squeeze in something else? A Twilight straight away this time for Probe. Now that's fascinating. Twilight Forge, so it looks like he wants to go into complete ground play from here. No second Stargate, no more Void Ray production. Just, you know, 2 Void Rays, 1 Oracle, and swapping into what I imagine will be Charge, Archons, Immortals, that sort of stuff. Storm can be fantastic against Meo. as you're usually expecting a medium work account Hydraling push coming across the map.
I actually wouldn't hate, like, you don't see it too often unless you're, you know, maybe partying or trap, and usually against Lingbane Ravager and that sort of thing. But I actually quite like Colossi in this matchup, especially against a guy that is going to go, you know, almost certainly many Hydras very early muscular augments. I actually kind of like, you know, tier 3 Robo here, but we are going to see the Templar Archives. I think you might get your Wish Pig. Seems like Storm's on the menu for Probe.
Oh, Roachborn comes down for Meo. Now, I actually think
Okay.
Meo does very well versus this sort of style with Roach Hydra. Because the Roaches are so tanky versus the Zealot Archon. Now, I think sometimes players go, oh, he's just going to build Lings and Hydras. If I just get enough Zealot Archon, I can kind of swarm over him. So if Probe goes Storm real quick, though, and he immediate Psy Storm.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be very well defended. Now, the thing is, I think there's openings for Meo if he maybe does some drops to multi-prong. But if he just tries to stay on this drone count, Mass Roach Hydra, attack on Romanticide, we're going to see Meo overlaying his strategies that work so well on Lightshade, those wide open maps, Jagannatha sometimes, onto a map where it is not going to work. You can't do a 3-base push to Protoss on this map because he's just going to sit on the high ground. Cannons, batteries, Psy Storms. So I want to see Meo show an adaptation and flexibility for the map. And right now, on this work account, equal workers, much better tech coming in for Probe. It feels, it's not an all-in, but it's a commitment to the right here, right now, and it doesn't feel like it's going to pay off.
Yeah, the third base here of Probe is actually starting to get some static defenses warped in here. Another, you know, it's sort of like a Sim City here, similar to what Terrans want to do against a guy that has a lot of Lings and wants to be aggressive. The Prism coming in means that Probe can get some presence across the map while defending here with those High Templar. Storm seconds away from done, and yeah, like if Meo moves into Probe right now, it is absolute suicide. So, oh, more drones and an infestation pit coming down.
You know what? Those
like
Lings
this.
actually saw the High Templar. Probe tried to pull them into his natural, but the Lings spotted them, and Meo immediately started droning. That was like maybe 30 seconds ago. And he's a little slow to pick his tech, but he has gone infestation pit now. So I'm wondering, I'm like, hey, what does Meo do from here? Because he's got a massive economy. Hive is great, but what does he use it for? Is it lurker play? Do we see Broodlords, Ultras? You know, what is the switch up from here for Meo? Big attack for Probe coming through the middle of the map, and actually Meo's building spines, but he's very low on units right now. Oh, the Roach Hydra needs to pull Probe back, but Probe's already so far out on the map, and Meo didn't even see this coming. He didn't have a spotter out there, so a bit of bad map control here for Meo. Is Probe confident enough to push in there?
I mean, Meo is definitely going to do a ton of damage and probably pick off this third base at least, but is he going to actually stop the Protoss from killing him? Probe recalling with the tier 3 units. He's going down to the third base, right on top of the Roach Hydra, so he's going to lose some important units for the overcharged shield battery. Never mind. He keeps most of it alive and deflects Meo, and that Prism with these Zealots killed so much of MeomaikA's economy. He's lost 24 drones here, and he's not even cleaned it up yet.
Yeah, he didn't have any Overlord spotters out because the Void Rays cleared that up earlier. So the Zealot came in, Prism drop came in unspotted. There's still Zealots in the corner of the main that could come in a moment. And Meo's not rebuilding those drones. He's just making Roaches and Hydras right now. At the very least, he needs to deny this fourth base of Probe. This is a terrible position for Meo to be in right now. And he's going to try and take down these rocks, open up a path. Probe, though, he's got tons of Storm. Actually, you know, he spent a lot of Storm before. Oh,
Yep. He actually doesn't have tons of Storm. He's got like 4?
Yeah. Not
Maybe
much
5?
meat. No Immortals.
Yeah, charge bots either. Mortals
He's
run
got to go
away.
now. He's got to go before the shield batteries are here.
And Probe knows that, so he's trying to push MeomaikA back, scare him off with spells.
Mio's taking too long. I really think maybe he could have broken this with the Roach Hydra. He's not building drones. He's not rebuilding his economy, so he really needs some urgency. But the Zealots pull him home. And now he's missed his window. He's eating big Psy Storms. So Meo here has missed that opportunity. The Immortal count's growing. The Archon count's growing. +2's kicking in. Probe has survived this scary point in time. Meo is still doing nothing but massing Roach Hydra. Now that can work, but it's going to rely on him baiting out a lot of Psy Storms. And he goes back to droning a little bit. To me, it feels like Meo's stuck in a middle ground right now. Every second that goes by, Probe's army is getting way stronger as that energy gathers up on those High Templar.
Yeah, and once he gets a bit more meat to this army, a few more immortals, it becomes even more harder for MeomaikA to win a fight. He gets a cannon here, eating some big storms at the fourth nexus, with most of the army of Probe coming to intercept, and he might even cut off the retreat of the Zerg army. It's depowered a shield battery, but if he loses all these units, that's not worth it at all. That's terrible.
Units in the middle, though. Units in the middle.
Oh,
he's going to catch the High Templar. Oh, and you know what? All the storms are gone from up here. He's actually starting to find damage. The army on the south is going to go back in as the units run back up here and scramble. Meo is taking out expensive units and finding openings. The problem is, of course, that Probe's economy is simply better. Is this going to work out? All the shield batteries depowered on the southern base. The Immortal, few Zealots walking, going to hold off there. Roaches come back in. They want to kill that Archon. Not quite able to do it just yet. Meo has recovered his economy partially, but remember, he has no next step in terms of tech. I think his Hive might have finished, but he doesn't have a Lurker Den or anything like that. No Spire. I mean, what can he really do? Start +3 attack. That's about it.
Meo does grab an Immortal there, an important unit to pick off for sure, but it does feel like he's bleeding quite a bit of resources here at the moment versus Probe. Oh, wow, that is a huge attack from MeomaikA through the middle of the map. He knows something I don't. He's like, okay, I've got a moment to shine here. Let's go, send everything to the middle of the map.
Yeah, he's got to trade, because if this army gets more support in front of the High Templar, it's going to be great. But Probe taking a really terrible engagement. All of his Zealots and an Archon almost goes down as well. So Probe needs more Immortals, more Archons out desperately, but the way Meo's attacking it, a little bit clubbed up. He's going to walk right through the Psystorm. The mad lad, absolute psychopath, wants to get on top, but he just absolutely gets wrecked by Psystorm.
Yeah.
Meo is way too clumped to take a fight like that.
And the Zealots hit the main again. 9 more drones going down. So Meo did a bit more work getting his drone count back up to something a little bit more healthier, like you mentioned, but that has been taken away from him thanks to the Zealot warp in of Probe. And yeah, that fight from MeomaikA, it was just impatience. He saw it and he was like, just go. Just attack. We got to do something. And unfortunately, lost way too many resources for way too little value. Yes, he's done damage to Probe. Yes, Probe hasn't had the cleanest game in this first PvZ of the day. PvZ. Sorry, Southern Hemispherians. But this is a, this is still a dire situation for MeomaikA. He is not winning this game at the moment.
Oh, he hasn't replaced the Overlord in the main. There's no spotter, so each time it comes back in, he's completely blind to it. He's got to fix up his map coverage right now and get a little bit more vision out there. Meo is on equal work as he's stuck on 2-1 Roach Hydra. This is a composition that does not get better as time goes on. Meanwhile, Probe gathering up a lot of Storm Energy, a lot of Immortals, his Zealots, his Archon count all growing. And no Warp Prism in the middle, so that army doesn't want to commit on creep. But look at this, he's got enough units on the south to defend. The Zealots are going in from multiple angles right now. The bottom left base and the top right. He can rotate into the main at the same time. Meo's running Hydras in circles, ring around the mineral line. And that is a scary army in the middle. It cannot commit, though. There's still very little meat there, but you can't chase that because the Psystorm will get you.
Yeah, Probe seems to be in several places at once here. All those storms. Fungals from MeomaikA, and he sees the Fungals as a sign to go, go, go. He does get a Fungal on the High Templar, but doesn't kill any of them. And they retreat with the help of their spells. Another big warp into the main base. Like, Probe is hitting the 9 o'clock hatchery. He's hitting the main. He's attacking through the guts. He's got an army at his third defending as well. He's got Protoss everywhere here on this map.
Fifth base up. He's trading out all of his cheap units, the Zealots. He's keeping the economy of Meo low. There's no creep spread. There's no tech coming out. I mean, he starts +3, +2, and a couple of Vipers. Vipers against the Psystorm-based composition? This is not the unit you build here. Can it work? Yeah, Blinding Clouds can help. Abducts can be nice. More often than not, though, you're just going to get feedback, and they're going to be useless.
They're going to be useful later, because as we can see in the production tab, Probe is teching into Tier 3 air, as, is the way in late game PvZ. Eventually, you want to be heading towards carriers, keeping those High Templar alive to be able to storm, to protect those carriers on the ground against the Hydralisks, which are basically the only anti-air that Meo has, unless he drops a Spire. And that seems to be the plan, at least later, but right now it is still a very mainly mid-tier focused army here of MeomaikA. And once again, the Zealots find the money shot there, getting tons of drones.
Dude, if Meo wins this game, he's an absolute wizard. His army is mostly trash. It's roaches for the most part, against like a really high-tier Protoss army. The thing is, whenever he's running his army around, I do feel he finds weakness. He's so good at moving his army around. The problem is now, at this point, it's just taken too long, and Probe has so much more stuff than him. It's like, yeah, these units hard counter what you've got. And yeah, Vipers are good versus carriers if you've got something to deal with the High Templar, Broodlords or Lurkers. If you've got one of those to get rid of the High Templar and zone them out, then you can actually beat small, medium numbers of carriers, up to maybe 6 carriers at most with Hydras. The problem is he's got no answer for the Psystorm. He's still not moved an Overlord up to spot that Prism or left any units in position to deal with it. And Probe is just saying, look, if you're not going to split your army up properly, and I know you're not because you're MeomaikA and you love to F2, you love to kind of grab all your units together
Oh my god, the
and
Hive's
then
gonna
manually box them all over. No.
Yep. Oh my god. Well, no more Vipers for MeomaikA.
Yeah, feedbacks on these Vipers go down. One of them does get just zapped. Storm on everything else. And Probe here, I mean, he's taking a while to finish it because he's against a guy who's committed here in the mid game. So why push in and get yourself surrounded? Take a 5th, secure it, make 6 carriers, make air upgrades. Just, you know, continue to the next step. Meo's the one who has no real end game plan. He doesn't even have a late game plan.
Right.
I mean, you basically he gasses out in the mid game, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yeah, like Probe probably could YOLO up the guts with all these units with a big F2A and a couple storms and win the game. But the like even higher percentage win chance here is just relax. You know, max out, get your upgrades lined up, and you know you're not losing a lead by chilling here. You know, you're dropping storms, you're trading well, getting these clusters of army getting picked off. I mean, Viper dies to cannons once again. The Hive is dead, so that Viper will not be replenished. Meo is finding some damage at the third base. Charge Lot warping in should be fine though. A couple of High Templars getting picked off there at the 4th Nexus on the low ground, but that air army is something that MeomaikA absolutely cannot deal with.
Yeah, it's the amount of damage output in that Zerg army is so low for a maxed out army. Even when it cracks through and finds some undefended areas, you can see that even just a few shield batteries absorb almost all of the roach damage output. That's a very low DPS army. And Meo, unfortunately, just getting caught out by that first attack. I mean, I like the flexibility from Meo because initially he was building lots of Roach Hydra, and then he said, oh, you're rushing Psystorm. This composition is not going to work out. I need a bigger economy. Switched it up, but this push completely blindsided him. This was the one where at the same time Zealots were in the main, his army was down the bottom. If he knew this was coming, these units would have gone in 20 seconds earlier on the 3rd of Probe, and this actually could have been way in Meo's favor. But because Probe was the one who went first, surprised him, and also had higher damage units in 2 of his bases, the Zealots much better than Roaches at killing workers, way better damage. It was, I think, 29 drones in the end of it for 6 probes.
Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic for the Protoss. And he also took out a lot of the army of the Zerg as well with that recall and the overcharged shield battery. This fight for MeomaikA was questionable. You know, he saw this army and there was something in his brain that told him, just go, dive, dive, dive. It's just High Templar. But he had to just sit there and weather the storms, you know, figuratively and literally there. And unfortunately just traded so badly against a mainly energy composition there of Probe against the spellcasters and the Hive going down. At this point, I felt like the nail was in the coffin for MeomaikA, but he tried to fight his way out of it like, you know, Kill Bill Part 2 style.
Indeed. Yeah, he's done it before. He's punched his way out of a coffin or two and dug his way out of the ground and stood up and scared the heck out of everyone in his zombified form, but not in that game, man. That is Romanticide, though. That is the map where we really don't expect great things from Meo on that map. We're waiting, we're looking, we're saying, where is the wild, cheesy trump card, the Joker? When are you pulling out the weird play? And he hasn't really done it on these maps that he's weak on. These are the maps where he should be going for broke and bringing out his wildest and most surprising plays. But I am seeing a Meo here who's an expert within his lane, but he hasn't, it doesn't seem like he's expanded beyond that just yet. So I kind of want him to show us some more surprises, not on the next map, but the one after that.
Yeah, Juggernaut, I think, is the next map, and that's one where I think it's still a pretty good map for Probe. But then when we start heading into Lightshade, 2,000 atmospheres, that's when MeomaikA can really shine on that particular map, on those particular maps anyway. But we're going to take a short break, guys. When we return, the grand final resumes with game number 2. Don't go away. We'll see you then. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. You are watching the grand final here of the Oceania Rest of Asia main event here for the DreamHack Masters. Full Iron Maynard with me as Pig. And this is a ZVP of the ages. MeomaikA, the Vietnamese Zerg, currently down in the series here. Actually by 2 maps, because Probe has the map advantage from winning the winners bracket. So this is a best of 7 though. You know, still at least 2 more games to go. But MeomaikA going to hope that, you know, it's more like 6 games.
Indeed. Well, we've seen a very predictable pattern with MeomaikA. He is strong on his maps and weaker on the maps that aren't his. The next one is his map pick. Even though on paper, I do think Lightshade looks better than Jagannatha. He loves Jagannatha. He loves it. Short rush distance. He loves the ability to push through those boosty zones. There's a big area between the natural and the third of the Protoss. So it's really hard for them to cover it. I mean, what's his happy place? It's jumping around between bases with his Hydras and things, looking for weakness, constantly about to strike, sometimes backing away and sometimes committing. And the boosty zones, the spread of the bases, it all plays into his hands for that. It's just a map that he's very comfortable on. 12 pool, hatch block, these sort of things can work out, but we've seen such a low percentage. We only saw 1 hatch block from him previously in the ZVP, and it was actually quite a nice one, right? He went the 3 hatch before pool, where his 3rd hatchery blocks the Nexus. I wouldn't mind it. I think it would be especially surprising on one of these maps that, you know, his opponent is thinking, oh, you're going to play completely standard and predictable on.
And MeomaikA is the guy that that hatch blocked on Blackburn, right? He's yeah, he did it against Probe.
Yeah, it was Blackburn. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's see what strategies he's got here for Jagannatha. In the top right here, represented by Litecoin Gaming. This is MeomaikA.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side of the map, the blue Protoss player, representing Legacy. It's Probe. Now he likes to do that pylon scout immediately across the map. And that's going to see no hatchery. It's going to go up in the main, look for the spawning pool, but he's hiding the drone. So Meo's doing his super inefficient mega late hatchery, where he actually could hide that drone on the natural lower and get this down so much faster. But you know what? 10 seconds late, not too bad. Okay. First time he did this versus Probe in their previous series, the hatchery went down to the 1:09 seconds, which is 21 seconds after a 16 hatch is meant to go down, and then went pool and gas at the same time. And I was like, this is not good. This one I can get behind. This is totally fine.
Well, as long as you're happy with it, Pig, that's all that matters.
There's limits to my my ability to handle inefficient openings, you know? I cringe a little when I watch some of Dark's initial ZVP hatchery timings, and I forgive it because he's such a god. And it's the same for Meo. You get a 10-second, I won't condemn your opening. 10 seconds late on the hatch, it's okay. It's okay. Much better than pool first, hatchery on the 3rd, which Probe's been forcing you into, you know? But I got to be critical when these things don't come down, and I've got to praise the players when they do things perfectly. And this is a much better adaptation from the previous series by Meo.
Yeah, we're all very lucky sometimes when Pig comes down from his ivory tower to grace the peasants with his presence, and touches the heads of a few babies.
If you're starving, I will let you eat cake. I will, you know, if you're lucky, I won't spit on you.
He'll give you the honor of letting you wash his feet, and you know that kind of thing. The highlight of most of our weeks.
But only if your builds are refined enough, Maynard.
Yeah, only if building placement and builds are refined, crisp, clean, and perfection. That's right. I can get behind that.
Yeah, man, you gotta have high standards. No, honestly, I do love to see the players evolve with just little adjustments throughout. Probe, of course, doesn't need the Zealot this time around. Sees that quick 3rd hatchery on the 3rd base going down. I like this build from Meo a lot. Gets the hatch down a better location, hitting his injects. He's already been showing an ability to drone a lot harder from group stage matches against Probe. Group stage match went terribly. Previous match went a bit better. It was the 2-3 loss. And this series is just beginning still. But a lot more drones and overlords for Meo. So yeah, it's definitely an adjustment where he's just realizing, look, Probe's playing so safe. Build a bit more economy. Once he gets the 3rd base, that's where we can start playing.
Well, we have the Oracle first here from Probe when that Stargate's done, by the way. So a little bit of a difference from last game. A bit more of a normie opener, I guess, from Probe. You know, I guess a bit older school, multiple adept into Oracle.
Oh, get those drones out of there. Good job with the queen, just zoning it out, getting a lot of damage on that adept. She's getting pretty wounded right now. We'll look for like maybe one more drone kill, but you know what? Adept goes down. That's actually really good defense by Meo.
Yeah, very nicely done. Roach Warren does get plopped down for Meo as well. So he's not doing the regular style of really fast lair and then Hydroden is the next step. He's actually just chilling on hatchery tech for a little bit longer here, dropping the Roach Warren.
He's going to queen walk. This is something Meo... I've never seen Meo queen walk. It's so bizarre to even see him building 4 queens.
He doesn't make queens,
yeah, but he's building 3 more queens right now, 4 more drones, and I think we're going to see a bunch of overlords after these couple of drones, and then he's just going to go lots of Ravagers. The queens I expect to start moving out pretty soon, but it's Meo, so we can't be 100% sure. It definitely looks that way. The Revelation, though, sees the queen starting to move out across the map.
Now, Oracle's going to have to confirm this. It comes in for another Revelation or some harassment. A Raw. Finds the drones, and he's going to kill a lot of drones here, which is good. But what he really wants to see is that cluster of queens from MeomaikA. More queens coming out.
Yeah, Spore Crawler is ready up in the main. The queens, they all pulled back for a moment, which is a bit of hesitation. He can't afford that. The Forge is already on the way. He's got to get going. He hasn't started any roaches yet. Oh, this is already too much damage, I think. Wait, he's still massing queens? He needs roaches and ravagers because the problem is the cannons and the batteries will get up if you don't have your ravagers, your lings up front. Like, he's going to walk like 8 queens across the map, and there's not going to be any actual units with it yet. It's just going to be queens. It's a mass queen assault, Maynard. The roaches are going to rally in as a second wave.
I feel like someone told MeomaikA about the queen walk, but didn't show him how to do it.
Oh, I don't think he's practiced it a lot. The whole point is he's trying to be surprising, and this is what we've asked for him, right? Is do surprising strategies. They don't always come out as refined. It's still a very scary attack to deal with on this map.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
He's not even going to defend his third. He's just going to give it up. And I think he's done so much damage with the Oracle that he's happy with that.
I agree. I think that Probe's bought himself a pretty good start to this defense. He's got himself, obviously, multiple Stargate Void Ray production. He's got a ton of shield batteries coming out to the front line to intercept the queens here. Chrono boosting that Cyber Core, knowing it could likely go down. He wants +1 ship weapons. It's going to make holding even easier here. And Overcharge has been spent a lot earlier
Overcharge
here.
to run out. He wants to get under the Void Rays so that he can kill it once it runs out. Vile's going to start to go down, and 1 queen does fall. So many transfuses already used up. The queens have a significant amount of firepower, and there's 3 more queens behind that. So these 6 queens can have 3 more backing them up in the near future. Viles on the Void Rays would help a lot here. Oh, these Void Rays are doing so much right now, but the battery juice is about to run dry.
Yeah, it certainly is on these 3 shield batteries on the right-hand side, which is where MeomaikA's attacking from. So Pro's going to have to rotate the Void Rays and the units back to the shield battery in the natural, allowing MeomaikA to come inside the natural a little bit, but this lets the cannons get some work done here. Pro even warping in a Zealot. Actually really like just warping in 1 or 2 Zealots here, just to push the Roaches and Ravagers back, just to give the Queens a little bit more to worry about, other than just Void Rays and Stalkers. This looks like a hold from Pro.
Yeah, you can't fight the cannons here. You cannot fight the cannons. When they pull back and give up the third like that, it's not good enough. 1 Void Ray falling is nice, but he's got to drone harder and earlier, and he's still just rallying Queens and Roaches across. He started droning up now, but that third base hasn't gone down, Maynard.
Oh my, I thought it was dead. Never mind. The webcams are blocking it there. It's a disaster.
It's a disaster, mate.
Oh my.
It really is. Yeah. You know, it's always a hard one, because I think knowing that, this Oracle, it's killed 18, 19, 20 drones? 21 drones? What the heck?
22 drones.
All from 1 Oracle. Oh, if only he had a Spore in that natural this whole time.
Well, now that the Queens are all dead, they don't have the ability to stop these Voids from right-clicking on the hatchery and deleting it from existence. So, this hatchery will get 1 more Queen, but again, the game is done. Probe doesn't know what's going on. He's like, this is a weird Queen walk. We're also, as commentators, like, this is a bit of a weird Queen walk. And it was, all things considered. They're not wrong. So we do have a 2-3-0 lead for Probe here. He's actually already on match point.
Yeah, I mean, that is the Chad Oracle, the destroyer of worlds right there, dude. He's like, this guy's meant to check to see if you're attacking me. And then he's like, oh, it's undefended. I'll go in and do damage. Oh, it's still undefended? I'll do more damage. Round 3, he stacks it up to 22 worker kills. And you're like, is this for real? Oh my God, that Oracle was it's insane. It completely handicapped MeomaikA. And what a bummer as well, because I think that's why he committed to the natural, which he really didn't need to do. Even here, I would love to see him just pull back. just pull out of battery range. He didn't need to pull back far. Go for the third with the roaches and the lings. Start droning up, and it's still playable for Probe. It's not like he's dead, but you can drone, get an advantage, even if you're only on 35 workers right now. Protoss stuck on 2 base is not a great position to be in by any means.
Aye, indeed. I like the idea of what you just said there. Like, pull over to the right side, kill the third nexus, and disengage. Like, it's guaranteed damage. It's not optimal, but at least you get something done with your strategy, and then pull back and use the queens to try and stop the void rays from just spiraling out of control and taking out your hatcheries and stuff. But it kind of feels like a lot of it's happening off camera. But that Oracle getting 22 drones, imagine that doesn't happen here. I think that this, if MeomaikA disengages, the Oracle doesn't do all the damage that it's done. This game can recover from this strategy of MeomaikA, but it is just so suboptimal for the Zerg for this to work out the way it did.
Absolutely. This was also like a non-stop rally of roaches, whereas I like to think of it as one sharp timing attack. The first 5-6 queens are there. You've got some roaches and ravages that arrive, a pack of speedlings, and then kind of like drones should almost always be the prepared plan behind it, especially if the Protoss gives up the third. But cracking a natural that has cannons and batteries it's an impossible feat. So I think just a bit of an overcommitment there, feeling he had to do that damage, and that was all the power of Probe, just with that little tactical backstab that kept coming in. The Oracle there prompting Meo to overcommit.
Yep. And again, it's to repeat ourselves as the dust settles here, our reigning champ is only 1 map away from the clean sweep 4-0 victory here, as he has already got 1 map in the bag, and we've played 2 of them. So that means he's 3-0, heading to, if my maths doesn't fail me, which sometimes it does. Sometimes, it makes them... for all you aspiring commentators from home, by the way, don't, follow your dreams. Don't let anything deter you from being a commentator in your favorite esports. But don't do maths live on stream. Never do maths live on stream.
Indeed.
That is wisdom from me to you. I wish older Maynard from the future told younger Maynard that.
Yeah. Also, don't try and figure out complicated group stages, who's going to be getting through and who isn't.
Don't round robin math things either. Just sit there and let an admin tell you.
Yeah.
Don't like Rotterdam does it all the time. But
I love doing it with Roddy, right? Because you're just like, go, Roddy, go. And he's just there and he's like, well, technically, and he'll spend like 10 minutes breaking it down. And I'm like, I understood nothing you just said. It's like, even when you're explaining it to me, I don't even understand it. I'm that thick.
Yeah, no, I don't even pretend. I just nod and smile. Sipping my water bottle, waiting for the admin in Rotterdam to figure it all out. It's usually Carsten and Rotterdam figuring it out in the IEMs, but good times. Yes, don't round robin math. Don't math in general. Just commentate the video games, yell at explosions, and enjoy yourself. That's the important part. There you go.
Indeed. Well, this PvZ has already been a little bit of a divergence. And that was a hatch first at a pretty good timing for Meo. And then as soon as I saw 3rd and 4th queen, I was like, oh, this is a cool change up. But it just didn't quite get stitched together the way it needed to. And unfortunately, that was one of the good maps for the Zerg. We're back on the Protoss map pick down here in the bottom left-hand side. He only needs 1 more game to dominate this region. In the bottom left, it's Legacy's Probe.
He is on Blackburn here, which I feel like can be a pretty rough map for this fine gentleman in the bottom right. Yet to do much damage in this series. Can he finally get a point on the board? From Vietnam, from Litecoin Gaming, this is MeomaikA.
Spawning pool into the gas a little bit earlier than normal. That makes me think of aggressive things. Maybe a +1 melee build against Protoss is something I haven't seen in a while from Meo, but would work very well with a gold base, which is, of course, what Probe is prompting him to doing. Probe block the natural, and that hatchery gonna go down over at the gold.
Yeah, which is honestly one of the most predictable things that a more, I guess, creative Zerg is going to do on Blackburn. Probe's going to go over to the gold right now with that probe, I'm sure.
Probably already has it in mind as well. He's probably like, yeah, that's what you're doing, But we'll confirm, no doubt, at some point. And do we see double adept across the map? I would say probably, yeah, why not? That's what I'd do if I was in Probe's shoes. He takes, of course, the pylon on the way already, the second gas. He went Cybercore before Nexus did Probe. So that just sets you up perfectly for super fast double adept. And defending that is a nightmare. Now, Meo has his gas down at the normal time for a hatchery first, about 1 minute and 8 seconds. So his link speed's pretty quick, and he actually put 3 workers on gas straight away, so maybe even slightly faster. It should kick in about 3 minutes 20 is when his link speed's gonna finish. So these two adepts are gonna have a little bit of time, and once they realize Meo's built plenty of Zerglings, the job of Probe is just don't throw the adepts away. Just threaten, make sure he invests in a bunch of Zerglings, things that aren't drones. If you can get some pickoffs, awesome, go for it. But then quickly pull them home and make sure you don't die to what is usually going to be in this scenario an overcommitment to Zerglings to try and counterattack and do damage.
And the links come in for the main base here. Obviously, they're going to get cleaned up by the Adept, no problem. Probe confirms the gold base being taken with that Probe. And these Adepts are going to head into the main base where there aren't really any units from MeomaikA just yet, just the Queen.
Meo has got to be a little annoyed as well, actually. Those silly drones, they rallied to the back of the gold base automatically, and they just had to go all the way around. So they just missed about 50 minerals there, maybe a little more. Super quick layer on the way for Meo before even getting a third base. Not too special for him, really, when you think about it, but 8 Zerglings out, link speed about to kick in. Zergling Scout will go down there, and it looks like the Overlords are being pulled back. Meo realizing, yeah, let's not lose our Overlords to Void Rays. That's been one of the things that's really slowed down his openings, is often losing units. And Probe here, a little bit paranoid, walls off with a gateway. I actually really like the way Meo's played this opening. With 8 more workers coming out, overtaking his opponent, a gold base filled with workers. This feels great for Meo.
Yep, definitely on the upper side at the moment. And with Warp Gate finishing now for Probe, he may consider just cancelling the second gateway and getting those Adepts in the line. Yeah, there we go. Don't want to block himself off too long. Has the intention of getting a third base soon, I'm sure. MeomaikA disengages, actually bringing everything back to his side of the board.
I wouldn't be surprised for Probe to go Robo this game. Yeah, Robo before third. So it's just one of those things. He's already playing very safe. It's such a good map to defend with Disruptors. So he's going to go for the Disruptor tech. And the third base, I think we could probably go down maybe 520, something like that. So a little bit of a slower third. He doesn't have a quick Oracle to do pressure. His Void Ray will see if it can catch some of these Overlords returning. And if it goes straight north, it should get at least one of them.
Should do. Come straight into the main base here, confirming the lair. Hasn't seen the Hydra Den just yet, but you could probably pick up what Meo's putting down. It is his preferred way of playing.
It's Meo building the unit that he builds every game. Oracle does get 2 drones and a Revelation on that base. Sees the third gas, and the Void Ray will come in and confirm that the third base is down, sorry, on the natural. But no real big damage for Probe at all with the harassment. Finally, we'll find an Overlord there, but
will he, though?
That is being defended by Queens. Probe
right.
really hasn't done any damage. It's going to be all about his defensive efficiency this game.
Indeed. Meo, small cluster of links here, threatening the third base, but there is enough from Probe on position to defend it. Natural also, tight defense here with the Adept in the wall. And not afraid at all at the beginning of this game to show off that Stargate. He doesn't really care. He's like, that's fine. I'm going to go multiple Stargates. I see Hydras. Let's start getting Disruptor production happening. That way, yes, the Zerg is getting away with a lot on his side of the map, but they can't kill me.
That Oracle slides out of there. It's got 3 kills so far. It's already been a bit annoying. I think Meo's hoping that is not the Oracle pilot from the previous map. That one was an absolute bastard, and Meo does not want to be facing him again. So keep your eyes on that Oracle as it backs off, rotates to its side of the map. There is Disruptor production on the way. Second Stargate Forge finishing up, and a ton of shield batteries at the third base right now.
Yep. Again, like just the idea here is to not die. MeomaikA does like his Hydra attack timings. Probe's seen it time and time again. We've seen it time and time again. Having these Disruptors really just takes the wind out of those sails of those Hydra attacks. It's so hard off creep, even with Muscular Augments, to dodge Disruptor Novas. He might get this Oracle, though. It's a nice catch.
Ooh, that's very good. Queen Hydra into Disruptors. To me, I see that as a disaster, but if he can stop the cannons getting up... Oh,
good catch! Gets that Void Ray. Very nice start to this fight for Meo. Lots of Hydralists here. This Disruptor Nova needs to be good. Good split. Wow.
He's got to get those cannons before they finish. Get the cannons if he can focus both cannons. Oh, that's huge. He gets rid of the cannons. The battery overcharge will fall. He takes it down. Oh, my lord. He may have just caught him. He gets another Disruptor, Maynard. He's cracked him. He's cracked him.
MeomaikA has found the W here on Blackburn. A map that I thought wasn't too good for his style. Meo says forget styles, forget maps. Hydra Bust for the win. And here we go. I love it.
Oh, the MeomaikA Hydra head, but I mean, Probe here, he's actually... Ah, nah, the Void Ray goes down in the third. I was like, maybe he can get this together. He's trying to build more batteries in that third base. He does not want to give it up because remember, he's got so little mobile production right now. His cannons were just a bit too late. I mean, that's the thing is the disruptors seem nice, but I think you need cannons and disruptors. The cannons are the stable, consistent damage. When they're finished and batteries are able to heal them, this army does so poorly against them. It's so hard to deal with battery overcharge and cannons and disruptors backing it up. But the cannons were a little bit too late, and you're missing a piece for even a few seconds, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, indeed. The Disruptor Nova coming into the pack. He's going to go DPS down that Disruptor. MeomaikA, he's done it. He's gotten rid of the Disruptors. He's killed the third, and it feels like this Natural is a work in progress, but not too far away from falling either, as that last overcharged shield battery goes down for Probe. Lings are ripping and tearing his Probes to pieces. Probe's like, all right, no clean sweep. Let's try again in Game 5.
Yeah, this was his map pick, so Meo finally brings something out. I keep saying bring out something surprising on the maps you're weak on. Well, he did the surprise tactic on his strong map, and he's played the most standard thing that he almost always does. The only change here was walking 2 queens across the map to help zone out the Oracle. Otherwise, this is exactly what Probe was expecting, and that's why he is right now, once again, you know, he's just kind of reciting some poetry. Ah, yep.
Yeah. Hands in the air like you just don't care. It's okay to throw away a game here, Pro. We don't need a clean sweep. It's okay. I mean, at the moment, we do know that, you know, Probe is technically alive because he hasn't left the game yet, but there is a Spire on the way, there's Corruptors on the way, and Mio is going to be able to make enough Corruptors to actually kill these Voids, even though they usually, you know, are a pretty good counter to Corruptors. MeomaikA, it's okay, mate. Save your money. Save your money. Save your money.
So I never actually realized that Overseer Cocoons have so much armor. I always knew that like they'd heal, but they actually
don't
have
all the Cocoons have a fair bit of armor? Every Cocoon does, doesn't it?
I don't think Baneling Cocoons have any armor.
True. Yes, no, that doesn't.
Ravager Cocoons have 5 armor. Broodlord and Overseer Cocoons both have 2 armor. So against a very fast attacking unit like a Void Ray, Phoenix as well, you know, low damage units, it really does slow down their damage a lot more than you might otherwise realize. Yeah,
and we do see that now there is a air army from MeomaikA and the Lings here, by the way. So Probe's army consists of, I think, maybe 1 or 2 Disruptors and a handful of Void Rays.
Corruptors coming in and trying to focus down the Voids. It's not enough Corruptors right now. This is a little bit of a bad army for me.
Yeah, MeomaikA getting impatient here.
Well, pure Hydra Ling, I think, is actually better in these numbers. He doesn't have a huge Corruptor count, but it's enough Lings. It's fine. He gets rid of the Disruptors, and that means he can take out the third base while the Corruptors, they duel the Void Rays, but the Void Rays do come out triumphant without a third base, and Neo up on 63 drones and a 4th hatchery on the way. Neo's going to be happy enough with that.
Yeah, still in a incredibly dominant position here. Like, I don't see how Probe gets himself out of this situation.
I think he's remembering Lightshade right now, and he's like, oh, he makes mistakes sometimes.
Well,
let's make a Dark Shrine, and like,
you know what?
Maybe?
Yeah. Disruptors, Void Rays, and the Invisible Man. Is there any selection of 3 units that people want to see less in a PvZ?
Yeah. Well, the Spores on every base, so the DTs shouldn't do too much. You can, of course, make Archons with them, but probably won't be cutting the mustard. Corruptors, of course, and Zerglings. Neither of those really beats Archons, does it? So you can get out a bunch of Archons. The thing is, Neo will have so much money. He could easily go back into Hydras, Mutas, and all the rest of it. Infestation Pit's even on the way for Neo, which speaks towards a potential Hive Tech transition.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think that's, you know, people might think that, oh, you can just do it on tier 2, but I think going to Hive is like the safer bet. Just slowing it down a little bit. Oh, never mind, 11 Mutas. Here we go. Don't make assumptions, Maynard.
I'm just so happy that this is not going to be that 4-0. This is obviously going to, I think, breathe a bit of fresh life into this series. As Meo here, you know, he sometimes takes a while to finish off this style, but that's kind of a very good player playing Void Ray Disruptor. They're hard to kill. I think the Mutas flying into the main will probably be unstopped. There's just, you know, not enough raw material for Probe. As he starts to warp in Dark Templar, continuing to try and grow his Void Ray count, the Muta Corruptor flock heading across the map. And I think they can just A-move.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can. Probe may tap when he sees this army.
Ooh, Void Rays need to focus fire the Corruptors there. Probe a little slow to do so. And there we go. That's going to be that. Probe finally going to be forced to tap out of this game, dropping a few disruptors before he goes for the fun funds. But yeah, the Hydra's caught him off, man. The safety disruptors, getting them really fast. Turns out, if you don't got cannons up in front of him, it's not worth that much.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, there's a different world where maybe Probe doesn't take as much damage. Maybe the third gets up. He retakes that third. MeomaikA doesn't kill it with the Ling Hydra follow-up. And maybe we see a few Archons here for Probe. You know, a few Archons make a huge difference in those battles against the Muta and Corruptor Force. In fact, we saw that on... I think when Meo played, it might have been Romanticide. Actually, maybe it was Lightshade, where Probe was super far ahead. He was like doing... No, it was Lightshade. Probe was really far ahead, and he was getting towards that tier 3 Protoss army. And MeomaikA was just like, I'm going to go Muta, Corruptor, and I'm not going to stop going Muta, Corruptor. Just Muta, Corruptor, Muta, Corruptor, Muta, Corruptor. And, you know, the Archons added so much value for Probe. It was really only the, I guess, the strategic choice of going for that recall that kind of threw the game a little bit for Probe there.
Yeah, it definitely let it slip away. I think Probe, you know, he got a bit antsy in that previous series. But yeah, this attack, just those cannons, if they were firing this whole time, I mean, it's just a completely different story. It's such a difference. So I think an overinvestment into shield batteries early for Probe. And I think for him, what we've seen, he either rushes cannons, gets them up really fast, but his disruptors are super late, or he rushes disruptors and his cannons are super late. I'm going to speak the ancient words. It's a wise saying, something to do with tacos, I believe. Why not both? Just do what Trap does. Make them both.
Indeed. Porque no los dos. And this was the big moment there with the Corruptors and the Mutas in tandem, just almost one-shotting those Void Rays at one point. In fact, they were one-shotting them until the flock got thinned out a little bit. But once the Voids are gone, the Disruptors, the best they can hope for is a few Hydras. And I hope with that extra bit of XP that Probe's farmed, he's gotten his Protoss account to level 50.
I hope so, man. You got to get those numbers popping up. That's the game, you know? You're like, it's not about winning, it's about blowing up some things so I can feel good, have some fun with that, go into the next game with a bit of a smile on my face.
Correct. That's exactly right. We're going to take a short break here, guys. When we return, the grand final continues. MeomaikA does some damage. Could he do some more? Let's find out together after the break. We'll see you then. What's up, e-gamers? Welcome to e-gaming, the experience here at the DreamHack Masters Fall Edition Oceanic Rest of Asia main event. I'm Maynard, and with me is Pig, and this is the grand finale between Probe and MeomaikA. The Vietnamese Zerg's been getting battened around a little bit, like a bowl of yarn between the two paws of a kitten. You know, just getting smacked around a little bit. But he fought back here.
Yeah. He did, but he actually had to take a break. He was a bit too intense there, or, you know, all the feedback there. Of course, both of these cyber athletes are playing right now in a full-body haptic suit where they can feel part of the pain of their units. And even when you win a Zerg, you do end up losing a lot more units. So that's why it is the warrior race. It's why Meo plays it. It's because he's able to endure that pain and still keep on going through it and keep on punching. It's how many disruptor shots you can take and keep moving forward, Maynard.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about getting back up again, you know. What movie was it? Batman Begins. There it is. Alfred. What we do when we fall down, Bruce. We get back up again.
Oh,
I'm seeing on your face that you.
I thought it was
seeing on your face that you're like, I don't know this movie, but I'm gonna nod. I saw it. It's okay. It's okay. All right.
I was getting my movies a little confused there, Maynard, and it looks like, yeah, maybe the internet dropped out for half a second, not sure, but I was thinking of a different one, a different reference there for a moment. Got the wires crossed a little bit. I realized that, you know, Rocky was not Batman, and the answer wasn't Adrian.
No, definitely not. That's a completely different movie, but you know, we got there in the end. Let's just say it was an internet mishap, and it'll never happen again.
You know what's not an internet mishap though? Forgetting your forge. That's a brain mishap. According to Probe, who hopped into the chat in between the series there in the break, and he said, I wasn't being BM, guys. I was just laughing because I forgot my forge. It was late. That's why my cannons weren't ready. Just a silly error. So it's interesting to see. I like that Probe here is not only cocky in his interviews, he's dramatic on camera. He's kind of speaking to us through his reactions. He's also reciting poetry, and he's literally doing live interviews in Twitch chat in between the games. It's kind of fantastic. Yeah,
I mean, you don't get that experience with every single commentary in a sports team. You know, you don't get to interact with the players during the grand final. But here with the e-gaming, you do, and even occasionally a caster will jump in and chat every now and then and also commentate or drop an XD.
You say jump in. Some, I would say, are even there the entire time, which is an incredibly professional thing to be staring. Yeah, Zombie Girl. She's just so unprofessional.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? It's just terrible. We try and tell her, we're like, Zombie Grub, please concentrate in the game. You're here to cast StarCraft, stop talking Twitch chat. But she can't help herself. There's too many wrong people that need to be corrected. In the bottom right here, can he correct this scoreboard? From Litecoin Gaming, the Vietnamese Zerg, it's MeomaikA.
And he's going to be going, I think, for the 3 hatch before pool here as he snuck a drone out. So he's going to try to go for a hatchery first. He's going to try and sneak it around the probe, I believe, and then hatch block at the same time on the other side of the map. And this is cool. Yeah, he's hiding a drone on the right side of the map. This is probe.
Correct, it is probe. Well spotted. Hope you guys are enjoying the PVZ action.
So the drone snuck around. The probe got the hatch down. Probe's now seeing that, but the drone's going to come in for the hatch block on the natural of probe right now. Nice. That's a nasty one. Last time around, Probe pulled about 4 workers, started up as Zealot, and kind of played it out from there. His Adept wasn't really able to find much counter damage against this either. So we'll see exactly what he can do. Obviously, the double Adept very powerful against this because it is essentially a 3 hatchery before pool opening for MeomaikA.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is the kind of build that if the Protoss decides to go multiple gateways and go for like a couple of depths, the Zerg basically rolls over. But, as we can see, Probe is still just happy to plod along with that Zealot there, wait for the Cyber Core, and then get the Adept out. More concerned about taking his natural.
No Evo chamber block there. Of course, seeing how many probes pulled, Meo knows that Probe doesn't even have the money for a Nexus now. He's already forced a big enough response. He's going to hang around for a bit longer, see if he can potentially block it. I love this dance with the drone. He says, hey, how about a taste of your own medicine, Protoss players? You're always blocking our hatcheries. Now's my turn. Payback.
The Zergs are just like, it's been 11 years. We've been putting up with this.
Oh, the drone does go down. That's a bit of a bummer. I would have loved him to keep that alive in there and maybe come back in and block it at this point. Adepts are going across the map. Zealot hanging at home, interestingly, not going across to join this. So Meo being forced into 8 Zerglings immediately. And he's actually got quite a fast Zergling speed. That's going to finish right up about the 4-minute mark. So obviously a while for these Adepts to have some fun. And the Queen's being so late, a little bit of a problem for MeomaikA.
Ooh, please slows down the third base there. Obviously, MeomaikA's already made 3 hatcheries in this game, or, you know, made 2, already started with the 1, but trying to go for the third, the Adept intercepts. The Shade making the Lings respect that as well.
I would like these Lings to just surround the Adept if they can, but a little risky. Will the drone pop out of the extractor? I think Meo might... Ooh, I think he's forgotten to. Yeah, he does try to do another save, and he takes the other third hatchery. Lair is on the way, as well as 2 more gases. And with those 2 gases, I guess one of those is this one. So it's actually just a standard build order from here for Meo, but he's a bit lighter on drones than normal due to all these Zerglings getting forced out. He's also building spores way too early. So this is one of his issues sometimes, is he does get a little bit afraid. His worker count's so low. Building spores right now is handicapping an already tiny economy for MeomaikA.
Yeah, you're quite right. Being 5 workers down on the Protoss at this point is not ideal at all. The spores will stop the Stargate units, but it's, you know, a Stargate unit isn't even on the map yet is the problem. That's why Pig's saying it. Like, you got to cut as many corners as you can that you know you can get away with here in StarCraft. Like, if the Stargate isn't proxied, if the Stargate is at home for the Protoss, then you can just start your spores like now, basically.
Yeah,
a little bit earlier.
These ones are about 30 seconds earlier, and it's because he's also got a very quick Ling speed and insanely fast tech. Meo's economy is just not great, and normally you're looking for the economic advantage. Now, he's still got great tech. He's still up 1 worker. It's acceptable, but he's got to make sure he doesn't take too much damage here in this next little stage and see what he can get done with the Hydras. Adept's coming in on the natural. His Zerglings are pretty well positioned, though, so he should be all right to deal with that. Oh, wait. Ooh, Zerglings are a bit out of position, actually. They were just sitting in the natural, but he pulled them slowly.
Yeah. Gets a few drone kills here. The other drone's been pulled to safety. The Adepts are going to go down. So MeomaikA cleans that up of losing 3 drones. Not too bad for MeomaikA. As long as you get less than 4 drones worth of damage out of the Adepts, I think, and you kill 2 of them, that's good for the Zerg for the most part. But it is kind of exacerbating a really bad drone count, and it's going to just force him to go for a big old attack.
Yeah, this is... I mean, he's doing a Queen Walk with Hydras again, but he's on the 33 drones. And Probe, he's got a Forge. He's got a second Stargate. He is not moving out to a third base yet. I think he's just recognized those Adepts came in. They saw next to no workers on the natural. And he realizes that he can stay 2 base for a long time. Now he's massing shield batteries. So Probe may actually technically be over-defending here. Since this attack is coming across to deny a third base, Meo is starting to drone up behind this. So he will be able to have some longevity, some sort of next step. Hopefully he's already got the Groove Spines queued up, because that's going to be really important for the Hydras. These Zerglings still do not have Zergling speed.
Yeah, they have questionable value. I mean, I know that they're a bit of meat shield. Oh, these 2 Adepts showing up the other side of the map. MeomaikA being stretched between a rock and a hard place here and a bunch of Protoss units.
Oh, this is disastrous. I mean, it's just these small counterattacks are so useful versus Meo, because he always grabs everything and sends it across the map. And then if you're worried about him droning or still attacking behind it, well, the 2 Adepts scout that he's droning, and they do massive damage. About a quarter of his economy going down to just 2 very inexpensive units. You know what? Probe just warped in 2 more Adepts, and he's doing the exact same maneuver again. This is like the 3rd or 4th time in this game. He's like, dude, I'm just going to keep doing it. And look, the Oracle keeps coming in, seeing no workers on the 3rd. A bit of a mistake. Didn't queue it out. And, oh! Flies it back to its death. A little sloppy for both players. But you know what? The fact that Meo's pinned him on 2 bases like this is awesome. This is so great. It's just the fact that Meo, for the first time, has only hit 2 bases worth of workers. So he's actually not ahead at all.
Yeah. He can slow down the 3rd base. You see the Probe is getting ready for that. But, oh no. Yeah, as the 2 Adepts showing up again. Once again, MeomaikA just not thinking about at home. Too concerned about, like, almost like he's got horse blinders on. Just really concerned about slowing down the Protoss.
He knows
not worried about his mineral lines.
So he doesn't have Overlord spotters out there, and he needs to put some Zerglings or something out to see when this sort of stuff is coming across the map. Like, and this is the thing, is because Meo is so used to being the aggressor, the player who's attacking, he's not used to his opponents being the one kind of hitting him. So he's like, I've got map control, you're scared of me, I don't need any defensive forces. This is the mode that he is used to playing under. And you can see here that it's not quite working out for him. Probe's moving out to that 3rd. He's massing cannons and batteries on it. He's got Void Rays at the front there. He's got a couple sentries for Guardian Shield, +1 air weapons on the way. Disruptors are nowhere near just yet, but Cannon, Battery, Void Ray will be enough to defend this army.
Yeah. MeomaikA is making Infestors here. So a slight difference, but Does that win him the engagement? I don't think so.
Well, I think Microbial Shroud and Fungal both great here against Void Rays, but against Disruptors, they're worthless, right? Like, you're never going to get in range of Neural Parasiting. So I don't think it makes sense. I think this is Meo, honestly, going back, hearing Probe's interview saying, hey, if he builds Infestors or Vipers, I'm screwed, you know, in a previous game on this map. And he's saying, yeah, you know what, I will start using some of these spellcasters that I'm not used to using. I was using Vipers a bit more against Seether. I'm going to use Infestors. I just think it's the wrong spellcaster. I think Vipers smash Void Rays, they smash Disruptors. He's going to go Neural Parasite, but it's still on such a small economy. This is such a fascinating play. Let's see if this works out.
Yeah, bold strategy, Cotton. The Neural Parasite, I'm trying to think about what we could do here with that Neural Parasite. Maybe grab a few of the Void Rays and turn them on themselves, but, you know, Voids are pretty strong against killing other Voids, but it just feels like the Infestor, when they do that, it'll just get annihilated by a Disruptor. So maybe the plan's to go for the Disruptor here, but then you're not killing the Void Rays. Oh, Pig, I'm hurting myself here, trying to think about what Neural could do for MeomaikA in engagement.
I think he just needs to have enough Zerglings to just, like, jump on the Disruptors early enough, and then you kind of come in and steal the Void Rays and use Microbial Shroud so your Hydras don't die too quickly in the meantime as well. Link Speed is on the way, an Evo Chamber as well. I mean, I think there's a lot of things you can do with this sort of army as Meo. It's just the fact that his economy has absolutely sucked this entire time. Let's not mince this position. If he wins from here, it's because he's a tactical master. He's a micro god. Meo does a lot of things really amazingly with how he uses his unit sets, putting himself in a position, though, of superiority. Not at all. No, his fourth just finished. Probe's already building static on his fourth base. It's really bad the longer this goes for Meo. And so he's going to push across the map. He's got a big Hydra Zergling army, Infestors. Yeah. There is no way for him to deal with Disruptors. This, I'll be amazed if he can do anything there.
Yeah. I mean, grabbing the Disruptors, turning them on Probe seems to be like something that might work. The Infestors are burrowed, but I think Probe has seen them. I think he's shot his Disruptor Novas already, so he doesn't have another charger on the ground. He does, however, have a forest of cannons and a million Void Rays.
He steals 4 Void Rays, which is very cute. Turns on the prismatic alignments. Disruptor shot's going to break a few of those, though.
Oh,
and
my
now
God.
Those Void Rays able to pull back behind the cannon battery. Does take out a few of Probe's expensive units, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, Big Boom Bang on the Zerg does equal a lot of red splatter on the ground. And the upgrades are very poor. There's no Hive Tech. It's just Hydras right now, Maynard. This is a low-tier Zerg army. And this is not the right response to someone who's massing cannons and batteries and Disruptors.
Yeah, it's just he's kind of made his bed, and now he's got to line it here for the strategy choice from MeomaikA. The decision making as well, just what he's done with the tools that he has not been good enough just yet. Again, like his win here is going to be tactical masterminding. Like he had a horrible beginning, or rather mid game, I would say, the last time they played Lightshade together, but ended up getting the win in the end, forcing Pro to make a pretty big mistake. And I think that's pretty much what MeomaikA has to do here, and that's way easier said than done.
5 is on the way. That'll open up Viper Tech. And Viper's, of course, a massive game changer. I also think Ultra Corruptor always has the opportunity to smash late game Protoss. But you need Vipers. And that's the big question mark for me, has always been here. Meo's so good at forcing his opponents into Mass Phoenix, Mass Void Rays, these units that suck versus Vipers, but he's never built a Viper versus Protoss. And that, to me, is what absolutely hurts, because even now in this game where he finally goes to the Hive goes down before it finishes, Maynard. That is a disaster.
Absolute disaster. MeomaikA is on 3 mining bases. His tech tree has been reset for the most part. Does still have the infestation pit, so he can make 9 more infestors. Oh, Hydras are killing a few Void Rays here. No, Probe did not go for the recall, so he gets a few Void Rays, which is something that Probe is getting towards. Is extremely scary and hard to deal with tier 3 air units. Carriers being made 3 at a time here by Probe, even getting a 7 cyber core to go double ship weapon upgrades.
No, this is doesn't look like there's a lot of play. I mean, we were definitely criticizing the composition against like Seether and how it didn't have much longevity, but he made it work because he was able to crash in against the cannon battery. No way. I mean, Probe is just shoring up those defenses. Hydra's Infestors ain't going to cut the mustard. I mean, Meo's going to build 110 workers. There is a chance to play against late game if you cover the map and creep and build spore crawlers everywhere. Unfortunately, MeomaikA does not spread creep ever. He's
also lost his spore making facility. He doesn't have a spawning pool. So,
oh man. I mean, what can Mio have up his sleeve in this scenario? Oh, he hasn't rebuilt his main, so he's got so many drones long distance mining. 100 workers, but there's nothing to turn it into. He's not building spires. He's not making a second Evo to get into like Ultra Tech. Like, what is he even going to do at Hive Tech? Hydra Infesta is not good against disruptors. So I look at this and I just see a man with the worst composition who's continuing to say, like, I think we need to recruit more cavalry regiments to charge the machine guns. I don't think it's going to work.
Well, you know what, Pig? If you have like 1,000 more cavalry people with like 1,000 more horses and 1,000 more swords, eventually you'll overwhelm the machine gun people. They run out of bullets eventually.
I mean, yeah, when they're changing the ammo, right? It's like, oh god. Okay, I like this. Seeing if he can catch him going home. The Hydras should stay out of vision. Hydras should, yeah. Hey, that's cute. I would have liked to wait for Probe to kind of like move over, but you should just pull the Void Rays back now and take him out. Oh, Probe actually kills his own Void Rays. That's cute.
He's like, I won't tolerate insubordination from my own units.
Yeah, 6 Vipers. I mean, there's no Templar Archives just yet. It's actually crazy how late the Templar is. There has been such a big window in this game where Vipers would be great. He went Infestors, did a Hydra Infestor attack, and then was like, I guess I'll make a Hive. And then the Hive died at like 85% complete. Hey, this is... Oh, save. Doesn't get the save in time, but he will kill all the Void Rays. And he's got 1 billion bases, so I think that's okay for Mio.
Yeah. Well, he gets the units dealt with. Top right being taken out. Things not really looking up for the Zerg still.
Is he got spores on the top base, or is that spines? Because that's so funny. He's got like a bunch of static on the top base, but he still doesn't have his bases connected by creep while using a purely ground. I mean, this hurts his ability to move his army around as well, which is one of his big strengths as a player. At least drop it out of the Overlord, spread some tumors. I mean, there's just playing late game mass drone spore styles with Vipers. It's all about having tons of spores everywhere and lots of creep spread. If he can do it without that, like, I'm gonna learn something. We're gonna wow, he's really got to like ambush and surprise Probe. But I guess if you look at it, there's only a few disruptors, so if you could like neural those at the start, or kill the detection.
Shroud Hydras as well. Like there is an ability here for Mio to fight this army. I don't have a ton of hope for it, but let's see how it unfolds here. The Vipers and, I mean, tons of spellcasters here. Surely, you know, as a rule of thumb, generally in StarCraft, spellcasters are a great way to come back. Oh, that Nova gets
what are we doing? What's he abducting into? What's he abducting into right now? Oh, he abducted onto his infestors. There's no damage there. This is a disaster of an engagement for MeomaikA. He's just getting absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah, I mean, hit the Viper hotkey, went for the abducts, but not pulling them into Hydras, pulling them over the infestors. Probe is just doing a dance here because his interceptors are just doing the job. Oh my god, I think Probe knows that after that fight, a counterattack is going to put this game in the bag for him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is not Mio's wheelhouse this stage of the game. Trying to use the spellcasters, which was very cool, but it was so very late. And it was after, you know, the Infestor timing, which did not really make any sense. 3-base Infestor Hydra timing against Cannon Disruptor. So, oh my lord, Bloodbath.
Oh my goodness. Not invisible high fives for Probe and all of his friends there as he takes the victory. Gets the 4-1 victory over MeomaikA.